Hey everybody, we're back for another online class here, a follow-along class. But before we start, I just had a quick announcement. Today is May 26th, it's Tuesday, and we are back with private classes in person at the karate school, at the dojo. So if you are interested in coming in for in-person training, make sure you let me know and I'll get you on the schedule. I've been calling and texting and reaching out to people, but I haven't heard back from everybody. So if you're interested in coming in, we will fit you into our schedule. Mr. Tyler and I are keeping everybody separated, we're keeping everything clean, we're sanitizing everything, we're keeping everybody as safe as we possibly can, but we'd love to see you. So if you are interested in coming in for a private class, a free class that way, let me know, alright, and we'll get you on the schedule. We'd love to see you. This class, what we're going to do right now, is going to be going over a few grappling and takedown techniques. We are going to be working on the ground, nothing crazy, because I know not everybody has something soft to work on, but if you have carpet or a rug, you might choose to do the class there, or maybe put down a blanket or a towel. You'll be more comfortable. We're not going to have a lot of impact hitting the ground hard, but we are already working on the ground, so that's up to you. Okay, so we're going to warm up real quick first, and then we will go over our techniques. We're going to go over 4 different techniques today. First thing we're going to do is big arm circles. Just going to try to get everything loose, moving around a little bit. Let's go the other way. For any of these video classes, if you remember, let's go to elbow pulls. We've been doing pretty short, abbreviated warm-ups. You might choose to pause the video and do more if you need to. Right? Like if you've got something you need to stretch out a little more, let's go, now we're going to do reverse punch, turn punch. Okay, so if you've got somewhere that you need to stretch, something you need to work on a little bit more than what I'm going through right now, it's okay to pause the video, stretch, get nice and warm, get ready before we start. Okay, we're going to do deep squats here. We're going to go nice and slow. I'm going to try not to let my heels come off the floor, okay? So I'm just gonna let you see my heels there. So as I go down, my heels stay flat, and then I stand back up. And that's a good speed right there. Doesn't have to go fast. We're just trying to get our hips and our knees and our ankles warm. We'll do 2 more of these. Try to drop your butt down, not stick your butt out behind you. 1 more. Nice. Now, we're going to do 2 more quick warm-ups here. We're going to go ahead and do our toe touches with a little bit of a twist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do toe touch, then I'm going to reach to the middle, and I'm going to reach back between my legs. Okay, so almost like a cherry picker. I'm going to reach down to the center, and then reach back. Okay? So basically we're going to make like a cross pattern. So we're going to go side, side, front, back. All right, go ahead. Down and back. Alright, now we're going to do 1 more. We're going to go over guerrilla walks. Sometimes we have trouble with this one, so I'm just going to explain it standing up real quick. See how I'm standing in the center? My hips are facing me. Okay? All I'm going to do is I'm going to take my foot and I'm going to step up to the side and turn to face the side. Then I'm going to hop back into the center, and then when I go this way, this leg leads. So your left leg leads when you go to the left, your right leg leads when you go to the right. Okay? My body turns. Okay, so for guerrilla walks, we do that on the ground and we push with our knuckles into the floor. Alright, so I'm down here low. I'm going to reach my hands into the center. I'm going to reach out with my right hand first, and my right leg comes up. I'm going to turn my body, then hop back. I'm going to go the other way. Side to side, and hop back into the middle each time. My goal is to stay kind of low, keep my butt down. Okay, so we don't want to be sticking our hips way up. Let's do a few more. Just a good way to get our body moving, hips, knees, get our shoulders worked up a little bit too. All right, good. So we're going to be going over 4 techniques today. The first one is going to be a knee walk. might be familiar with this. Sometimes I do it going across the floor, where I drive forward across the floor. Okay, today we're going to look at it in the context of the takedown. So we're just going to be doing one knee drop or knee walk at a time. Okay, so first let's just go over the basics of it. I'm going to step forward. I'm going to come forward and down. This front knee is going to go to the floor. And as my knee goes to the floor, my hips are going to slide forward. I want to think about trying to let gravity help pull me forward. So I'm not so much going to push off of this back foot as I'm going to drag everything forward as I step. Okay? So I come down, forward, and I drag that back leg through, and I stand back up. Now, to use this for a takedown, sometimes you're going to step to the side, sometimes you're going to step and turn as you stand up, sometimes you're going to be pulling or pushing with your head, pulling with your arms, okay, doing different kinds of things. We're just focusing on the legs today, okay? There's different details for your upper body for when you're actually doing the takedown and the angles. We're just working on the basic foot work today, okay? So one more time, I'm coming down. My knee comes into the floor, my back leg comes up, and I'm back up on my feet. All right? If you can imagine, I have another person here. Okay? There's his feet. If you can see his feet on the floor. My knee that's dropping down is going to step in the middle of his feet. Boom, and I step through and I stand up and I take him down, or I take him down, or whatever it is that we do. Okay? I'll put his feet over here one time so you can see. Okay, so there's his feet. We're in our fighting stance, whatever. I drop and I shoot in between his feet. And my knee drops through his legs. Boom. And then I stand back up, and whatever the takedown is, whatever angle we go, that's a little bit different. A little bit more than we're going to work on today. Okay? So that's the idea. So, here we go. We're going to do them nice and slow. 3 times on each side. All right, so do it with me. Take your front foot, step forward, drop your body weight down, let your knee come to the floor, and pull up, and stand up. Okay, we're gonna do that same side again. We're gonna do 3 in a row on this side. So, step, knee comes to the floor, drive through, stand up. Okay, one more time, here we go. Take a nice deep step, knee comes to the floor, stand up, and pull through. Okay, we're going to lead on the other leg now. Okay, so other side, same thing. Nice deep step, come down, drag up, and go. 2 more times slowly on this leg. Nice deep step, come down, drag, and up. One more time, here we go. Nice deep step, knee down, drag through, and stand back up. Okay. So here's 3 big things to remember. Number 1, we have to drop our whole body level down. So if you can see kind of from the side, when I do this, I'm going to stay mostly straight. I might tilt a little bit so I can reach for their legs, but I'm not going to do this and lean forward. Okay? I want to step and come down. My whole body level comes down. Okay? The second thing is I'm going forward. I'm not dropping to the floor. So I'm not doing this and stopping on my knee and then trying to move. As I come into this technique, I step down and I drive forward so my hips are pressing forward. Okay? And that'll help us with number 3, which is we want it to be smooth. We don't want to come down here, stop, and then get ready and then try to go forward. Okay, that's going to totally throw off any momentum and any chance you have at a real solid takedown if you just stop there on the floor. Okay, you need to keep everything moving forward and drive through this technique. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to be in our fighting stance. We're going to throw jab, jab, and then on the third one, instead of another jab or another punch, we're going to drop and shoot. So if you can imagine if we were sparring, I'm punching at you up high. I'm trying to make you think about protecting your head and staying covered up here. I want your defense drawn up. I'm attacking high, and then you think I'm going to come high again, but instead, I dropped in low and then set up my takedown. Okay, so here we go. We're on our feet, we're in our fighting stance. We're gonna attack up high, then shoot in low. I'm gonna use my front leg to shoot in. Here we go, ready? 1, and 3. And again, the footwork, we're just working right now on that drag movement. We're not really worried too much about actually doing the takedown. Ready, here we go. 2, boom. Hands up high in our stance. 3, ready? Remember, we're doing 2 punches on that front hand, 2 jabs. 4, jab, jab, shoot. 1 more. Here we go, ready? 5. Nice. Okay, now, if you noticed, I wasn't just doing punch, punch, drop. Punch, punch, drop. I was trying to be in my fighting stance and work a little bit of footwork. Try to make it as realistic as you can when you practice this kind of stuff, okay? So that is the knee step or the knee walk. We're gonna move on now to what's called a sprawl. And a sprawl is a defense against a takedown. So if somebody did that shoot and capture and try to take me down, that same technique we just worked on, sorry, I got my brain stuck for a second. If somebody tried that same technique we just worked on against me, a sprawl is one way I could defend it and try to stop them from taking me down all the way to the floor. Okay? There's other ways to defend. This is sort of if they got a really good setup, if they really got a nice deep step, they really are trying to wrap my legs up, they're really driving forward, and I can't just get out of the way or block or redirect them, okay? Usually with good footwork and distance, I can defend a takedown in other ways. This is almost like a last resort kind of thing. Okay, so here's the basic setup. My hands are gonna go to the floor. If a person was taking me down, my hands would be against that person. Okay, but since we're practicing solo, we're gonna put our hands on the floor. My hips are gonna shoot back and down. Boom. But my chest stays up and forward. Okay? So facing you see my chest is gonna stay up, right? My hands are coming down to the floor. Again, you notice I'm not leaning forward. I'm kind of keeping my back up as I go down, and my hips move back and drive into the floor, okay? Again, depending on what's happening, which angle they're taking, what they're trying to do, you might need to move your feet in different ways. But here's one thing that's for sure, is that we want this top part of our leg or our hip to be driving down. We want to make ourselves really heavy so they can't lift us off our feet and throw us on the floor. And we want our foot that goes out behind us, if you can see, to have the top of our foot on the floor, like our shoelaces down on the floor. I don't want my toes up like this, like in push-up position. Okay, I want this flat. Okay, because if they're trying to take me down and push me backwards, I don't want them to make me twist or roll or push back against my ankle that way. I want this to be heavy and driving into the floor. Okay, your other leg, sometimes people push both legs back, sometimes you can stick it out to the side for balance. Again, it would sort of depend on how they're taking you down and what you're trying to do. Are you going to try to step back and get away? Or are you going to try to step around and get behind them? So for today, all we're going to do is just sort of let it hang out here on the side, okay? So if you can see, basically I'm going to have one leg go straight back and one leg's going to kind of be out to the side. And again, I'm not going to be on my toe. I'm going to put more like the top of my foot into the floor. Okay, so let's do a sprawl, nice and slow, 3 times. Right now, I'm going to drive my right foot back, my right hip into the floor, my left foot goes out to the side for balance. So this is slow, hands go down, hips go back, boom, chest stays up, and pop right back up. Okay, here I am. They're coming in trying to take me down, so I press down, boom, hips go back and down, and then pop right back up. Remember that back foot is flat. The top of your foot goes flat on the floor. You're not on your toe like a push-up. One more time, they're coming in, hands go down, pop, and then back up. Okay, I'm gonna switch to the other side. So, my left foot's gonna go back, my left hip goes into the floor, my right foot goes out for balance. Here they come, pop back, and up. Okay, one more time. I lied, now one more time. This is number 3. Hands down, pop back, and So again, this is if somebody's really taking a good, strong attempt to take you down. Sometimes somebody might just sort of reach in to see what you do, and if they just kind of are faking you out, or maybe just reaching in to try to grab your arm or touch your leg to test their distance, you don't need to sprawl, okay? That's the sort of thing that comes from practice and just sparring, doing this with a partner, getting taken down a bunch of times. You'll eventually start to learn when to sprawl and when not, how to defend takedowns in person against another partner. So right now we're just doing this in the air. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm throwing some attacks. They didn't take me down. They get a real deep step. They're trying to grab my leg, so I'm gonna sprawl and shoot my hips back. So here we go, ready? We're gonna throw 4 punches, and then we get back so they can't take us down. All right, so we're gonna do this together. Here we go, ready? This is number 1. 4 punches, and ready? Let's do it again. 2, down. Make sure you're putting the top of your foot on the floor. 3, 4, 1 more, 5. All right, so that's our basic sprawl. Now, next one, we're gonna go over bridge. So we ended up on the ground. They ended up on top of us. Okay, we're gonna bridge and roll. So about a bridge, my heels need to be closer to my butt. I'm trying to lift my hips up off of the floor. Okay, this person's on top of me holding me down. Like maybe they're in the mount, right? Maybe they're trying to choke, trying to attack my arm. Maybe they're punching me. Don't know, we don't know. Feet in close so that I can drive up with my hips. Okay, my hips need to get up high off the ground because this person is sitting up here. Okay, they're sitting up here on my stomach or on my chest. I need to move them. I can't just pull with my hands and turn to the side. It's not going to work. So what I have to do is lift up and drive like I'm going to try to put their head on the floor. And then when I roll, this is the hard part, I have to keep my hips up. I have to go into my roll without dropping my weight back down to the floor. Okay? And that's the difficult part of this, is if you imagine if the person was holding you down, you get a nice high bridge, you get them off balance, and then you set your butt back down on the floor, well, they're just going to sit back down on top of you again. And then you try to roll, and it doesn't work. So while you're lifting them up off balance, you need to go ahead and do your roll then. Okay, so I'm going to show you the wrong way one time. Okay, so I don't want to do this. I don't want to go up and then drop and roll. See how I put my leg and my hip back on the ground? Okay, I'm lying flat on the ground on my side. That's no good because they're on top of you still. They're still holding you down on the ground. So once I lift, I've got them up in the air. This is me pushing them with my hands, right? I'm going to turn, and this leg is going to slide under, but if you notice, I'm still off the floor. Okay, I'm using kind of my shoulder and my leg to hold myself up as I roll over. Okay, now, you know, that's the perfect scenario that of course might not really happen, but that's what we're going to practice. We're going to practice a good, proper bridge and roll. Okay, so we're just going to do this one 5 times on each side, and then we will move on to our last one for today. Okay, so make sure you've got some space. Make sure that you're not going to kick anything while you're rolling around. And here we go. All right, I'm going to do 5 on this side, then we'll turn around to the other side. So I'm just going to use my hands right now to pretend that I'm defending this other person or I'm grabbing this other person. So don't do this with no hands. You're probably not going to be able to use your hands to push on the floor either though. So you really have to use your shoulders and your hips to lift. Here we go. Ready? And 1. So lift them up, reach over, drive your leg under, and come up on top. All right, here we go again. This is number 2. Up and over. All right, here we go again. This is number 3. Up and over. 2 more times. Ready? 4. Up and over. 1 more. Last one. And go. Up and over. All right, so I'm just going to roll over on this side. You can start rolling the other way if you want. I'm just gonna flip over so I can still talk to you and roll towards the camera here. Okay? So, I'm gonna bridge up. I'm gonna go over my left shoulder this time. So I go up, over, step through, and push up. That's one. Okay, here we go. So number two, they're holding us down. Go. Two, up and over. Ready? It's number three. We go three. Two more times. Four. Last one. This is it. Here we go. Five. All right. Now, we have one more we're going to do here on the ground, and we're going to work on a shrimp technique. Okay, we're going to shrimp out and in, back and forth. Shrimp you can use all over the place on the ground. Okay, to move out from under somebody, to pull yourself in under somebody, like to try to get into the guard, to move away from somebody. Lots of different ways to use this, but all you're basically doing is moving your hips. You're using your feet to push. You're using your upper body to push and move your hips where you want them to go. Okay? So, basic setup. I'm in the middle here. Okay? And I'm going to lie down facing you just so you can see my feet. Then I'll turn sideways where it might be a little easier to hear me. Feet are in close. I turn on my side. My butt is going out to the side. My feet are basically staying here in the middle. Okay? So I'm trying to basically keep my chest and my feet where they are and move the bottom part of my body out to the side. Okay, so to practice this by ourselves, what we do is we sort of curl up in a ball on our side and we can push our hands into the floor, our shoulder into the floor, and our feet into the floor and scoot our butt out to the side. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to shrimp out and then shrimp in. Okay, so let's do that slowly first. All right, I'm going to do a couple more times facing this way, then I'll turn to you. Turn on your side, shrimp your butt out to the side. Okay, now from here, my feet are going to dig into the floor, and I'm going to scoop and pull myself back in where I was in the middle. Okay, I'm going to go the other way one time. Turn on your side, push, shrimp out. Now pull, use your feet, and drag yourself back into the middle. Okay? So that is shrimping out and shrimping in. Shrimping out and shrimping in. Okay? So, we're going to do this 5 times out and in on each side. Here we go. Ready? Turn on your side. I'm going to turn over sideways so I'm facing you. I'm going to push my hips away from you. Here we go. 1. Out and pull back in. Again, ready? 2. Push out and pull back in. 3. Push out and pull back in. 4. Push out and pull back in. Last one, here we go. 5. Push out and pull back in. Okay. You can go the other way. I'm just going to spin around here so I can stay facing the camera. And we're going to go on the other side. Shrimp out and in. Ready? So turn on your side. 1. Out and in. Ready? Here we go. 2. Out and in. 3. Out and in. 4. Push out, pull in, and one more time. Here we go. 5. Push out, pull in. All right. So this is obviously not a replacement for real grappling or real takedowns against a live opponent, but these are some moves you can practice on your own to kind of stay sharp and stay ready for that sort of thing. So again, if you're interested in coming in for a private class, one-on-one class, we'll do that at least this week, and we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. Hope to see you soon. All right, hope to hear from you soon. Goodbye.